Go, righty. You are looking live. It's sold out MetLife Stadium where today the 16-0 and playoff bound New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Green Bay Packers. And why are the Green Bay Packers 0-16? Because they suck. Man, that never gets old. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all that's going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Everybody's going to spend any time watching the replay this. Once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. I'll try to go about 30 minutes here tonight. Shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free. Fire away, throw it in the chat box. Oh, my buddy Randy's here. I got to move the chair. Hold on. All right, Randy's here. Let's continue. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free. Fire away, throw in the chat box. Usually try to check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes or so. So as soon as I see something in there, I try to respond to it as fast as I can. So please feel free, fire away. But plus also, instead of me just rambling on for whatever, half an hour, 45 minutes, whatever it might wind up being, it's just nice to talk to another Giant fan. So please feel free to fire away. Before I get started, if anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me. It would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box below, the top link in the description box takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon. Second one's called the Lawrence Taylor. And the third membership level I got is called the Gridiron. Each one's got their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me. And I thank you in advance. Thank you. If you are subscribed to my channel, once again, thank you. I can use all the support I can get, guys. But if not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way, next time I go live or I put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. And then finally, also, a little farther down in the description box, there's 2 additional links. One's the top one's a Facebook link, which I'll go over in just a second. And the other one just below it, it's a Twitter link. It's always been Twitter. It's Twitter today. It'll be Twitter tomorrow. 755 trillion years from now, it'll be Twitter. Whatever letter of the alphabet Elon Musk wants to call it, that's on him. I'm not calling it that. It's Twitter. It's Twitter. I got a Twitter account. I try to put some Giant stuff in there every day. So if you follow me on Twitter, I will follow you back. That's an absolute promise. And then also the link above it is the Facebook link takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants of Gridiron. We have over 7,200 members in the group. It's doing simply marvelous. Basically, if I'm alive and breathing, if I have internet access, there's stuff going in there darn near almost 365. I mean, I very rarely miss a day as far as putting stuff in this group. So I got stuff going in there every day. And now if you become a member, not only do I post stuff in there, but the members post stuff in there as well. So between me and the members, there's a ton of New York Giants information going in there every day. Please, it's called the New York Giants of Gridiron. It's a Facebook group. Please join it. You won't be dissatisfied. I promise. All right, well, all that stuff said and done out of the way with. Well, hey, we're on the bye week. I had to take last night off. I had some family over here. And I'm on the first floor, and on the second floor, the bedroom. So the family they were staying over last night, so they were in the bedrooms right above me, and they were going to get up early, very early in the morning, and hit the road. They were going back down to South Carolina, so I didn't want to make all kinds of noise and everything like that and everything. So I kept it on the down low. So I took last night off. What's up, Benny G-Man? Hey, what's up, buddy? So I didn't. Usually Monday. I always try to do my team and player grades from PFF on Monday, but because I had family over last night, or my wife's family. That's why I didn't do a video last night. But we're here to do the team and player grades from the week 12 win. Right? Hey, what's going on there, buddy? For the New York Giants. Well, it's freaking crazy, but I mean, with the let me see here. I mean, it's one of those years. Let's go here. Hold on. NFC standings. Let's try this here. I mean, the Giants are just, I mean, this is absolutely just bananas, but I mean, we're just like 2 games, I think, out of like the final spot. I mean, as crazy as this is, I know. But I mean, the Vikings lost. They're 6-6. The Packers are 5-6. The Bears are 4-8. I mean, the NFC South. I mean, my God, they look like the NFC North of the NFC East from a few years ago, 2020. Remember the I don't even whatever the Washington football team / Redskins / Commanders, whatever they were in 2020. Remember they went to they were 7-9. The Giants almost won at 6-10. I mean, that's a toilet bowl right there. And then you got, and then the Seahawks. I mean, they're 6-5. And I'll tell you what, you look at the Seahawks. Holy cow! I mean, you talking about a tough schedule. Whew. That's Jets loss will cost us. Right? Well, I mean, you got the Jets. I mean, you look at those 2. I always do this. I did this when I was back in the 70s, going the woulda, coulda, shoulda game because the Giants stunk back then. But I'd always look back at the season. I turn around and go, I mean, because the Giants were really bad back then. But I was like, man, in that one game, if this happened and that happened. Or in that other game, if that fumble didn't happen and we got that or something, man, we could have had another 2 or 3. So you look at right now, you look at the Jet game and the Buffalo Bill game, right? I mean, I don't know. I guess the see no foul referee was in the end zone. I guess Waller is getting pulled like this. I don't see nothing. I don't see a penalty. That doesn't mean the Giants would have. Right? I don't know if it's holding or interference. I should have gave him 1st and goal. The 1? I mean, 4 tries. You think we probably could have gotten it in? Right? I mean, we get 2 more weeks. I mean, as horrible as this season's been, all the injuries, all craziness, all of this, all of that, all that stuff and everything, we unbelievably somehow we can, of course we're not, but we're like this close to being 6-6. Could you imagine? I mean, of course we're not Super Bowl ready. Don't get me wrong, because we play the other teams, and like Buffalo, the Jets, all those other teams were right there. We win, we just a little lose or something, but then we play the cream of the crop, like the Cowboys, the 49ers. It's like, forget about it, right? But, man, we're as crazy as it's been, So, I mean, we're tied with the Commanders, right? Right. Well, let's see. Well, so there's what? So there's three wild cards, right? So we the Cowboys are in. So forget about it, right? That's a lock. The Cowboys or the Eagles. And as crazy as this is, right? Crazy as this is, I mean, it's the way the Eagles. I hate the Eagles as much as they keep winning and getting. Fucking hate them. As crazy as this is, right? I mean, I'd be rather shocked if the Eagles beat the Cowboys in Dallas. Rather shocked. Now, the big game here is this week coming up. Eagles 49ers, right? Because follow me here, right? The Eagles lose if the 49ers win, right? If, right? The Eagles have 2 losses. And I think the next week they got to play the Cowboys. And I said, so that could be both teams could have 3 losses. If the Cowboys were to beat the Eagles, the only thing that's going to do is it's going to piss the Eagles off when they play the Giants. And then, they might. I said, because if the 49ers, the 49ers, they had that rough stretch there. I think they lost 3 games in a row. Well, I think Williams and McCaffrey were out, I think, for all those 3 games or whatever. But they're back. They're looking good. They're really looking good. And I'll tell you what, I'm sure they got a little vengeance on their mind. That doesn't mean they're going to win. I hope they do, because I hate the Eagles. I would rather take a pencil, jab it into my eyeballs, both of them. Pull my own eyeballs out than to watch the Eagles win it. I hate them. Absolutely hate them. So I hope the 49ers win. I'm saying, but if then the following week, I think the following week the Cowboys are playing the Eagles, and I would be shocked if the Cowboys lose that one. With first place on the line, I'd be really, really shocked. I mean, I can almost see possibly, the Eagles could beat the 49ers. The Eagles are certainly the cream of the crop. They play very, very well. They get a little help from the refs. I'm not going to, it seems like they have the magic foot, the magic rabbit's foot. They're getting the calls. Not that they don't get any penalties called against them, but I can't stand them. And I hate Niners. Yeah. Yeah. Well, they were back in the 80s. They sure were good. Let me tell you what, and the 90s, too. But, I can almost see a case where after a couple of weeks, there might be two teams that might both be 9-3. I don't know what the hell they would be, 10-3, 11-3, whatever it would be. So it might come right down to it. But, so you look at you got the Eagles and you got the Cowboys, right? And you got the 49ers, and you got somebody from the South that's got to make it, right? So that's 4 teams. Okay. And then you got the Lions. Okay, so that's 5 teams. So there's still 2 spots. Once again, this is kind of getting a little crazy here. I got done just rolling a fatty and just started seeing all kinds of stuff and everything. But this is and we're tied with the Commanders, so we got the head-to-head with the Commanders, right? The Seahawks, they've been plummeting. They're 6-5, but if you look at their next. Actually, weird. I saw this too. Is that the Giants have a better record after we traded Leonard Williams than the Seahawks, though. The Seahawks, they've been just plummeting. But if you look at the Seahawks here, what do they got? Let's see. They just played the 49ers. Then they got to play the Cowboys. Then they got to play the 49ers again. Then they got to play the Eagles, right? So they got, these games in a row. Then the last 3 are not, very winnable. They got to play the Titans, but on the road. Then they got to play the Steelers. Steelers will always be tough. And then they finish up on the road against the Cardinals. But the Seahawks, they lost to the Rams 17-16 at close, but then they got blown out by the 49ers. Now they got to play the Cowboys on Thursday night. The Cowboys are going to be pumped up for that one, right? And the Cowboys have won I don't know what it is, with 12, 13, 14 games in a row at home, something like that. Then they got to play the 49ers again, and then they got to play the Eagles. So the Seahawks got a tough stretch, real tough stretch coming on here. The thing is that they got the head-to-head on us, right? But, let's see. I said, the Vikings, they're plummeting. They're down to 6-6. The Packers are 5-6. That way, if we could beat the Packers, we would have the head-to-head with them, right? The Saints are 5-6. But if we can beat them, that's a big if once again, And I said that, and the Rams are 5-6, and we got to play them at home. Maybe we could beat them. Crazy things can happen. Crazier things. So fasten your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen. Fasten your seatbelts. Tommy, whatever that is, Tommy, whatever they call that. I don't even think Tommy DeVito even knows what to call that. But fasten your seatbelts. Hopefully, with the time off here, we get some guys healthy, get some guys back. Maybe we get Evan Neal back. Maybe Sexy Dexy. Maybe with his hamstring. Maybe we can get him back. It's one of those things you don't want to go back too soon, because with the hamstring, you aggravate it. Actually, if he aggravates it worse, his season could be over, right? Then the other thing is now during his bye week, right? I think the fourth week, I think for Tyrod would be this week coming up. So I think he'd be eligible to come back the following week. So now the thing is, what do you do there, right? Do you want to keep the hot hand in there? Keep Danny, Tommy DeVito in there. I always call him Danny. So you just call him Danny. You want to keep him in there, right? The third string quarterback, or do you want to put the second string quarterback in there, right? So that's gonna be a tough call. I mean, the Packers. I mean, thanks to some turnovers, okay, on the Lions' fault, the Packers, and Julian Love's not Aaron Rodgers, but not bad. Not bad. He's doing better than I thought he would. I'm very, very surprised. But then again, that's why I'm not a GM. That's why I'm not a coach. That's why I'm just putting videos out on YouTube. But I'm surprised. He's doing decently well. Right. But I mean that's going to be a huge game because I mean if we lose to the Packers, then we'd be like 2 games or whatever it is behind the Packers, and we can probably pretty much kiss the playoffs goodbye. But I mean, if we can beat the Packers, right, we would have the head-to-head with them. And we still got the Saints coming up. We got the Rams coming up. Crazy things. The only thing that I said is we always have to temper our expectations because we are not in the category of. I mean, the first game on the Giants were to make the playoffs, right? If the first game was on the road against, anybody, the 49ers, the Cowboys, and the Eagles, the Giants, might have a chance, But if you go up against the upper echelon, it just goes to show you how, how we still have a little ways to go to beat those guys. Still have a little ways to go. All right, so I got the, let's see. All right. Jalen Hyatt, the player grades. Let's start with the offense here. Jalen Hyatt graded out at 92. Yeah, very, very good. And it's so nice to see. It's rather refreshing, and it just goes to show you, what he's doing. I mean, yeah, it's against the Patriots, but the Patriots have a very good defense, very good. Their run defense is very good, as we saw, because we had 19 rushes for 58 yards. Very good run defense, but they also have a very good pass defense too. So if Jalen Hyatt's doing this, right, with a third string quarterback in there, right, and it was just one of those things. It just even if you have to waste a play. 2 plays, 3 plays for the whole game or something like that. Put the frickin' dude out there. Just go long, and we're gonna, run along the numbers. Give the quarterback from the numbers to the sideline to drop a pass in, as we've been doing, right? Unless whatever. It's happened too, where Jalen whatever breaks down, and the quarterback and the cornerback comes up to cover him, and then Jalen takes off, and he's like 3 steps, whatever, past the cornerback. Then you can just hit him in stride, unless the safety's over top or whatever. You know what I mean? But if the cornerback is with him, run along the numbers, give the quarterback, from the numbers to the sideline to drop a ball in, right? Even if you got 3 incomplete passes. He's worth his weight in gold, right? Because he's like the Saquon, right? He's like a Waller, right? He's on the field. You got to pay attention to him, right? It's like Saquon's in the backfield. You got Hyatt over there. You have to pay attention to him. One mistake with Hyatt, we haven't seen, unfortunately, it is what it is. It's been that kind of season. We haven't seen the 75-yard touchdown pass, where so-and-so drops back, Hyatt, whatever, beats the safety, the cornerback, whatever. We hit him in stride. He catches the ball. He runs into the end zone. He does the Macarena and all that. We haven't really seen that. But we've seen some nice passes down the sideline where he catches it, maybe gets knocked out of bounds, tackled or whatever, 30, 40-yard game or whatever, that we've seen. So, but, just knowing going forward, because what he's done, he's gonna start putting a little bit of fear in the defense. They have to keep an eye on him. This freaking guy can take the top off the defense. That's what we need. Give Wan'Dale Robinson some credit, right? We have a slot receiver. Okay. We got Waller. You don't know how many games you can expect him to play next year. We know he has hamstring issues. It's going to pop up again next year. That's a guarantee. I would still love to see us get a dog at wide receiver. Now, the problem is that, if you don't have an offensive line, it doesn't matter if Jesus Christ is back there throwing passes to Jesus Christ. If you don't have an offensive line, Jesus Christ himself can't do much of anything. So, we got some work cut out for us. Now, the thing is, I just say the Giants are picking in the top 5 next year, right? You take Alt, I believe his name is. There's a couple good tackles out there. Do you go after Marvin Harrison Jr.? Or do you go? Or you try to pick a quarterback? If we're drafting up that high, because to get Marvin Harrison Jr., I think you have to trade up to at least number 5, if not higher, to get him. It's because very, very interesting to see where the Giants go. But also, we don't know where the Giants are going to land. The Giants could wind up winning a couple more games, and they could wind up picking number 11, 12, or 13 or whatever, something. So we'll have to wait and see. But it's just nice to see, at least Jalen Hyatt, doing what he has the capability of doing. So hopefully going forward, at least next year, maybe we'll see a little bit more of this. But, he had a very, very good game. He graded out at 92. Freaking fantastic. Andrew Thomas graded out 89.5. Mark Lewinsky, he was only in there for 7 snaps. He graded out at 70. Matt Breida was in there for 10 snaps, graded out at 69.9. John Michael Schmitz was in there for all 52 snaps. He graded out at 65.7. Isaiah Hodgins, it's nice to see him. It's just it's one of those seasons, what he did last season in the second half of the season. That's about all he played for the Giants. He really, really, had a great, and the one playoff game against the Vikings, he had a great game. Obviously, his production hasn't been what it was last year, because Daniel Jones was there last year with him. But, thank goodness he took that one pass. He shook loose and he made it into the end zone, because if he got tackled the way the Giants offense was going, Lord only knows if we would have scored a touchdown if he didn't break that tackle there. But he had a 64.7. Tommy DeVito graded out a 63.2. Darius Slayton was in there for 28 snaps. He graded a 63.2. Eric Gray was in there for 1 snap. He graded out a 60. Tyree Phillips played the whole game at right tackle, 58.7. Now, the good and the bad there. He's supposed to be a swing tackle. He's not supposed to be our starting tackle. So to put him out there, maybe we have ourselves the swing tackle, maybe, of the future. Maybe. I think a lot of the question marks are going to be what the guards are going to be going forward. Because, I don't know if Pugh's going to be back. I'm not sure. They might get rid of Glowinski just to save some money for next season, because I think if we let him go, we might save around $5 million. I'm not exactly sure, but we'd save some money. Bredesen, hopefully we can maybe bring Bredesen back. If he doesn't wind up claiming one of the starting guard spots, he'd be some good depth for the Giants without question there. And he wouldn't break the bank for you, right? So we certainly have to figure out the guard situation. Don't know if McKeithen. He's. there's some there's some pictures out there. I get a lot of the stuff from the Facebook group that I'm on. I'm looking at different Facebook. I mean, there's a couple of times he's like he's like turned the wrong way. I forgot what game it was, a couple games ago. He was like turned backwards and he was like blocking, looked like he was getting ready to block Saquon or something. Like the line of scrimmage is behind him. All the defensive players are behind him. He's turned looking into the backfield like he's getting ready to, I'm like, holy cow. So we got some questions at guard. Justin Pugh, he played all 52 snaps, graded out 58.4. He's been a godsend, for this season, straight off the couch, but, I don't know if he'll wind up being back. Daniel Bellinger, who was in there for 47 snaps, graded out 57.9. Paris Campbell was in there for 6 snaps, graded out 56. It's just a shame we brought Paris Campbell in here. We just haven't been able to seem to find a bigger role for him. Saquon was in there for 43 snaps, graded at 54.7. Lawrence Cager was in there for 13 snaps, graded at 54.7 as well. Wandale Robinson was in there for 40 snaps, graded at 53.9. Ben Bredesen at right guard was in there for 52 snaps, graded at 53.7. Sterling Shepard, poor Sterling. He wore 16 snaps, so for him that's a lot. He graded at 39.1. So I think we signed him to a 1-year deal. So, if we can somehow get Sterling Shepard somehow on the coaching staff, say, wait, hold on, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 8 seasons. He made it to the season, though. Usually, though he always has a bigger load. He plays a lot, gets a lot more snaps, and he always winds up getting injured. This year, he's made it so far, but let's see. Sterling Shepard, how many snaps has he played this year? 116. So he's made 116 snaps this season. I don't know what he's done. Last season in 2022, he played 165 snaps. But he always winds up getting injured. But he hasn't played a lot. He's probably not going to play a lot. Unless we wind up with some injuries. Okay. If we can get him somewhere along the line, maybe on the coaching staff, right? Maybe, somehow maybe assistant wide receiver coach, or maybe somewhere going forward, maybe the wide receiver coach. Who knows? He's played 8 seasons. I don't know if the Giants are going to wind up bringing him back or not. But I think if we can get him on the, I would love to see. I'd hate to see him go anywhere else. Basically after his career's over with. I think hopefully the Giants find something for him to do, find somewhere for him, because he's a huge asset. I heard that. I think that Hyatt and Sterling Shepard, they got lockers right next to one another, if I heard correctly too. So he's been a huge asset, I think, to Jalen Hyatt as well. All right, then we got the defense here. Where are we at here? There we go. Xavier McKinney. He's making obviously, of course you don't know. He said, remember he said that thing about he doesn't think the captains are being heard and stuff like that. So that could be something good, or that could be something bad. I'll have to wait and see. But he's making a good push. His last few games, he's played pretty good. Now, also, we start seeing where he's been getting some tackles and stuff like that. That's kind of like after he said something about Wink. Not so much about Wink, but he doesn't think that the captains were being heard, right? But after that, he seems to be picking up his play a little bit. So he's making a good case to maybe be re-signed. The problem is that I think this is like his second game in a row, he's like led the team in tackles. I mean, which is nice, but you want your one of the guys in the secondary being the leader in tackles. They with Sexy Dexy out, they took advantage of the run game, the run defense. Quite possibly, maybe why Xavier led the team with some tackles there. So, but Xavier's making a good push, maybe to come back once again. Once again, it's one of those decisions Joe Schoen's going to have to come up with. See if he can re-sign him or replace him. But Xavier McKinney, 91.7, very impressive. Let's see, we got, of course, Bobby Okereke, the tackle machine. He was 78. Kayvon was graded out of 74. Those three guys played all 68 snaps. Benton Whitley at the linebacker, he played 3 snaps, graded out of 73. Adoree Jackson, good to see him back there. 70.4. Unfortunately, probably this will be the final few games for his career with the New York Giants. Quite possibly. Because let's not forget, we have some cap space next season, but we don't have Saquon, right? Tyrod Taylor, he's gone, right? Leonard Williams is gone, right? We don't have Xavier McKinney. Adoree Jackson, so we got some guys, so we have a little bit of money, not a boatload, but we got a little bit of money, but we got some guys quite possibly going bye-bye. Let's see, Adoree Jackson said 70.4, very, very good game for him. Micah McFadden, another very good game for him, 69.4. He was very good, according to PFF, that's all I'm going by. I graded at 85 in coverage. Very, very good. Howdy, my man, Pots and Pans, Jihad Ward with a sack and a half. He graded out of 69. Jason Pinnock, he played the whole game, free safety, 68.2. Dane Belton, he's only in there for 7 snaps, graded out of 66.1. Deonte Banks, all 68 snaps, graded out of 62.3. His run defense, according to PFF, his run defense was a little lacking. He graded out of 29.8. Run defense, that pulled Deonte Banks' numbers down a little bit. According to PFF, he missed a tackle, so that hurt his. He had 3 tackles. He had 1 assisted tackle, and he missed a tackle. So he had 5 tackle opportunities. He missed 1 of them. So his missed tackle percentage was 20%. So that hurt his grade. But other than that, his coverage grades were very, very good. Nick McLeod, we're gonna go over him in just a moment here. When I do just a few special teams grades, but we're gonna go over and show you his importance. Okay, he only played 2 defensive snaps, graded out of 60. But give me about 2 minutes here, and we'll go over his special teams. We're gonna go over 3 guys on special teams, guys you really don't hear a heck of a lot about, but they show their importance on special teams. Cordell Flott in the slot. See what I did there? I'm a poet and I didn't even know. Cordell Flott was in there for 40 snaps, 54.9. Azeez Ojulari, 38 snaps, graded out 46.5. Nacho was in there for 51 snaps, graded out of 45. Ashawn Robinson was in there for 45 snaps. He graded out of 42. DJ Davidson was in there for 34 snaps, 41.5. So you'll notice like the guys that took over for sexy, they're not sexy. Davidson and Riley. They tried. I certainly would not, without a shadow of a doubt, say there ain't no effort there. But they're not Dexter Lawrence. Dexter Lawrence is usually anywhere from an 80 to a 90 grade now. Right, the 2 guys that took over for sexy, right? DJ Davidson, 41.5. Jordan Riley, 29.6. They just, right? Whoever's calling plays for the Patriots are just looking. All right, that's Jordan Riley, right? Okay, let's call a run play. Right? And they ran right at him. Where's he at? Oh, there he is. Okay, we're gonna, we're gonna run right here, right here. Right? They point out. So they ran at him, and they did a good job of gashing our defense, run defense. So it just goes to show you how important it is for Dexter Lawrence to be in there, and that freaking guy is worth every freaking penny. Him and Andrew Thomas. Hopefully, somewhere along the line they can get healthy again. It's a long season. They take a lot of beating and all that, but it just goes to show you those two freaking guys are worth every freaking penny the New York Giants pay them, especially Dexter Lawrence. I mean, a lot of people hate Gettleman. 99.7% hate Gettleman and all that, but you got to give him a lot of credit. Now, I don't know if you saw Dexter Lawrence, what he's going to be, but Dexter Lawrence is very impressive. Now, going forward, a lot of the elite teams, the defensive line, the offensive line is solid, right? Eagles, Cowboys, 49ers, good offense, good defensive line. If you can get, especially with the Eagles, they drafted, they got a couple good young studs in there, young defensive stud tackles in there, right? Their run defense is very good. It's very stout, right up the middle. Well, I mean, if you get somebody like with Dexter Lawrence, somebody, right, to get two guys, that would really, really help, especially two guys that got pushed the pocket. And the only other defensive player was Isaiah Simmons, graded at 39.9, who's just in there for 23 snaps. All right, so then I want to go over a couple special team guys here. And it just goes to show you, just the top four guys I'm going to go over. It just shows you their importance, okay? First one, obviously, is Casey Kreider, the long snap. He graded out 79.7. But the next three guys I want to go over, because you don't hear, especially these next two, you don't hear a lot about them at all, but they make their money, right, on special teams, and that's why they're on the team, right? Cam Brown, graded at 77.8, and Carter Coughlin, 77.2. Now, you put those two guys on the defense, they're a liability, okay? Especially Cam Brown. He's not, I mean, it's amazing how, what a very, very, outstanding athlete he is on special teams. You put him on defense, he's a liability. Same thing with Carter Coughlin too, but with special teams, that's why they made the team. If all we had to do was put them on defense, they're either on the practice squad or they're on somebody else's team. Special teams, they're special, right? And that's why the two guys you very rarely hear anything from, especially when playing offense and defense at all, on special teams, especially this season. Our special teams have been very, very good. And how about the Scottish Hammer? I think it was 74-yard punt. I mean, we had the ball, whatever it was, our 25 or our 27, whatever the heck it was. It found the other end zone. Pretty good. Scottish Hammer's having himself a very good season. And you notice we're not having much of a problem now as far as punts being returned, right? Things have solidified themselves a little bit, right? We had that long, we lost the one preseason game against the Lions where they returned the punt back for a touchdown. We had some problems last season with the punts being returned and everything. This season, it solidified itself quite a bit. The problem this year is we've had problems with the field goal. Last season, it was the problem with the punt returns, but Graham Gano was Mr. Automatic. This year, with Graham Gano being injured, and we have problems with the field goal units, right? Field goal kicking and everything. That's one of the reasons why we lost the Jet game, right? But the punt team has been very, very good. And I said, and then the other one was Nick McLeod. Okay, he played 21 snaps, graded at 64.1. Let's see, did he have any tackles? He had one assisted tackle. Okay. But, Nick McLeod does, sometimes he gets a decent amount of snaps on defense, but, he's very good on special teams, and that's why these guys are on there. We need those guys, because remember, special teams, it's not a third of the game. They say it's a third of the game. I mean, because we had 50-something snaps on offense. We had like 60 snaps on defense, and there was like 20 or 30 snaps on special teams. So it's not exactly 33% of the plays, but it's a huge part. Huge part. And a lot of these guys don't get the attention that they deserve sometimes, especially when they're doing good. All right, then we got now the Giants. Every week I keep reading this off. The Giants have been the last. I don't even know. I'm not sure, but it's, on PFF team grades, there's 13 categories, right? The Giants have been almost the whole season been team number 32, meaning the worst in 5 of those 13 categories. I mean, I haven't checked. Let's just see if they're keeping this up here. But I'll tell you, they've had some very poor grades, especially offensively. All right, so the overall grade, team overall grade, who's number one? 49ers, 94.4. I mean, it just goes to show you. I mean, like with the Eagles are, only have one loss, but PFF overall, the overall team grade has them. They're number 7. They have them as the 7th best team. Yeah. So PFF doesn't even think the Eagles are the best grade. So hopefully the 49ers open up a can of whoop butt on them this weekend. But let's see. The Giants are, let's see here. Giants are number 32. 60.6. We're just a little bit, and just goes to show you how little respect the Giants actually get from PFF. The Carolina Panthers, with 1 win, have a higher grade than the Giants do. It's only 60.9, but the Giants are 60.6. So the Giants have 4 wins. All the injuries, we got a 3rd-string quarterback in there, and we're graded worse than the Carolina Panthers are. Giants get no love whatsoever from PFF. Okay, so next, we have the offensive grade. Okay, the 49ers, 85.6 of the 49ers. The Giants are number 32. Yep, 55.9. So the Giants are worst in 2 categories so far. We're 2 for 2. Passing grade. Dolphins are number 1, 90.1, and the Giants are passing grade. Giants are number 24, 60.8. Not bad. All right. Pass blocking. Giants are usually last in this. Minnesota Vikings, 76.6. Giants are number 32, 40.3, which isn't bad because the Giants for the past bunch of weeks have been in the 30s. So for the Giant pass block grade, we're at 40, and that's good. We're coming up because, I mean, I know the past bunch of weeks I read, the Giants were like 30-something, 35, 36, whatever. So we're getting a little bit better. 40. That's our pass blocking grade for the whole season so far. Really makes you wonder, is Bobby Johnson going to be back? Kind of makes you kind of wonder. Because we stunk last season. We were not very good last season, right? Our offensive line was, but makes you wonder. It can be interesting to see if Bobby Johnson comes back. So the Giants are we're number 32 in 3 categories so far. Then we got receiving grade. Let's see here. 49ers number 1, 90.6. The Giants are 31. Okay, we're 60.8. 60.8. Okay. Let's see here. Running grade. Arizona Cardinals, 91.6. I think because Kyler Murray came back. I think that helps them out a lot here. Let's see here. The Giants are number 29, 67. Run blocking. Eagles number 1, best offensive line in football, 77.3. We're not the best offensive line. They're in the top 2 or 3. Giants are 30th, 46. So the Giants actually, it looks like they came out of so they're only number 32 in 3 of the categories. Defensive grade, because usually by now they've been in the bottom in 5 of the categories. So the Giants have gotten a little bit better. What I call that. Defensive grade, the 49ers, 90.9. All right. The Giants defensive grade were number 22, 68. Run defense, Eagles number 1, 79.2. And the Giants are 24, 57.8. Tackling. The Giants have been very bad at tackling. Cowboys number 1, 80.8. The Giants are, the Broncos 29.5. That is abysmal. Holy cow. The Giants are number 25, 49.3. That's still pretty bad. Pass rushing, according to PFF, 49ers number 91.2. The Giants are 17th, 71.2. Coverage grade, Jets 92.7. They're very good secondary, as we saw. The Giants are 16th, 73.4. And special teams, Seahawks number 1, 90.8. Actually, they're tied with the Chiefs. Chiefs are 90.8 as well, too. The Giants special teams are number 22, 70.8. So that's not too bad. Not too bad. So the Giants have actually gotten better because, the past bunch of weeks, I don't know, past 3, 4, 5 weeks, I didn't do a show when after they played the Commanders because I was away for Thanksgiving. So I didn't do a show there. But the weeks before that, the past 3, 4, 5 weeks before the Commander game, they were number 5. They had 5 categories that were according to PFF, where they were number 32. They were the worst graded team in football. There's 13 categories according to PFF for team grades. The Giants were the worst graded team in 5 of those 13 categories. So we're only worse than 3 of the categories now. So we're getting better. If you want to call it that. All right, and then finally, Joe Schoen speaks. He spoke Monday, and he had there was a bunch of questions. He said we have 5 games left, all against the NFC teams, against 4 different teams because we're playing the Eagles twice. And he said we're not out of it, which is true, right? He said in terms of upcoming free agents, like with Saquon and maybe Xavier McKinney, he said I'm going to leave those conversations for after the season's over with. He said Daniel Jones is just 5 days removed from his surgery. He said he's already in the building, I think, working on the stuff. He said, he said he saw him in the parking lot. I guess it was Monday morning because he had the press, met the press Monday, Shane. So it was yesterday. But he said Daniel Jones was in the parking lot, walking across the parking lot, but I think he was holding his crutches and he was walking across the parking lot like he was supposed to be using his crutch. So they're probably gonna have to reel Daniel Jones back in. Hey, Daniel, okay, you did enough for the day. Let's take a little bit of a breather. Let's not overwork, So Daniel Jones, without question, is going to be working his freaking rear end off. And Shane said that if Daniel Jones is healthy for week 1, he'll be the starting quarterback. Or when he's healthy enough or whatever, probably going to be starting quarterback. Now, he doesn't have a crystal ball, so he can't say that he'll be ready for week 1 because he said some guys come back in 8 months, some guys take 10 months, 12 months, whatever it is. He also didn't. Jordan Renan was asking him, so what happened to surgery? Was it just the ACL? We got a little something else going on in there? And Shane's like, it's surgery went well. He said, I'm not going to disclose the anything like that. So Shane kept close to the vest, and he said, surgery went well. He said, but Daniel Jones, when Daniel Jones is healthy, he'll be the starting quarterback next season. Now, the thing is, you got to remember is that you got Daniel Jones is going to be back next season, regardless. There's nobody out there who's going to replace him. Right. There's especially now. I mean, you can kind of, if you wanted to, go crazy, right? Right. There's a little, little something going on. Buffalo's not doing so well this season, right? Their coach is maybe a little on the hot seat. They have a good team, right? They just fired their offensive coordinator. The coaches might be a little hot. They may not have a winning record. They may not make the playoffs, right? Could you imagine the Bills not making the playoffs? So I mean, you see these crazy things about Josh Allen, this, that, and the other thing, and all. Obviously, even if the Giant, just something freaking stonewall out there while we're in crazy. Trading for Josh Allen, right? Say, we'll give you Daniel Jones, we'll give you our first round pick, we'll give you this, because bring Josh Allen over here with Mr. Dable, magic starts happening, right? Hasn't Josh Allen taken a little bit of a dip since Dable's gone, right? I mean, he always had some turnovers, but he had that freaking dude. A couple of those seasons, he had a couple unbelievable. He had Stephon Diggs. A healthy Stephon Diggs, yep, but he had some unbelievable numbers. A couple of those seasons with Dable there. Whew. So I mean, I've seen some, some wild, crazy stuff, out there. The problem is, because Daniel Jones is under contract, right? It's kind of hard to trade an injured guy, Well, we'll trade you this guy. You got to pay him $40 million, but he's kind of injured, So so there's even if we drafted, one of the quarterbacks out of college, it'd be pretty tough. You'd be putting him like right in the line of fire, starting a quarterback out there. So there's like probably nobody out there that they're going to get who's going to be any more prepared than Daniel Jones will be. Week 1. I mean, unless Daniel Jones is not physically able to do it, right? Then they'll not. Maybe DeVito will be in there, or they're going to do something. Whether they're going to draft a quarterback or get somebody else in, free agency or whatever. But there's going to be no Patrick Mahomes out there. There's going to be no Aaron Rodgers out there. There's no Josh Allen. It is what it is. It was the same thing like with Daniel Jones, like last season, or when they signed him to that contract. Who else were you going to get? I mean, I guess I guess they wanted to try to stay young. I mean, instead of maybe trying to go out after Aaron Rodgers or something like that. But it was like, who are you going to replace Daniel Jones with? Who is going to be that much better? I just don't know. But so he was talking about, Daniel Jones, when he's ready, he'll be the starting quarterback. But they also said is that, he's probably going to have to do something in addressing the quarterback situation, because he kept saying, he said at least once, if not twice, Tyrod's, his contract is up, right? And he didn't seem like he was, wanting to bring Tyrod back. Not that Tyrod's bad, it's just injuries, right? That's Tyrod, injuries, Taylor. I mean, the great teammate, guy who you put in there can win your football game. If he's your backup quarterback, you couldn't possibly be happier. I'm not saying he's Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes, something like that, but if he's Tyrod Taylor's your backup quarterback, not bad at all. It's just that unfortunately the guy can't stay healthy. So, I mean, we got Tommy D, right? I'm sure he'll be back, but they have to, because they don't have a crystal ball. They got to figure out what they're going to do with Daniel. I mean, is he going to be ready for the beginning of the season? So they got to do something with the quarterback. And I said, whether that's bringing in a low-priced free agent to start the season or address it in the draft. But Shane did say something, we definitely probably going to have to do something, as far as the quarterback position. Let's see here. And of course, he says there's no guarantees Jones will be ready for week 1 of the next season. Shane was asked about the biggest factors in the season going sideways. He said the 3 games in 11 days. The Dallas debacle, right? had a kind of a nice drive. We got down whatever the 15-yard line or whatever it was in Dallas. Of course, I think there was one completed pass on the drive, so it was a lot of runs. Wasn't like Daniel Jones was dropped back to pass and standing in the pocket, bam, 15-yarder. Get another pass, standing clean in the pocket, looking around, surveying the field for 4 or 5 seconds. Bam, 8-yard completion, getting another snap, standing in the pocket for another 4 or 5 seconds, clean, standing in the pocket, surveying the field. Bam, surgically driving the guys down. That didn't happen like that. No, it was a scramble. It was a run. It was maybe another scramble. It was maybe a couple runs for his life or something. I think we completed one pass for like no yards or something in there. You know what I mean? But we got down the field. We got down to the 15. But, right, you had a false start. You had a bad snap. You had a punt block. Graham Gano got cleated or stepped on or something like that. Andrew Thomas hauling butt at trying to get out. Boom! Of course, he pops his hamstring. 6-0 game. To get the God, freaking pissed me off. I can't stand. Yeah, I mean, just the kind of the season in a nutshell. The first drive of the Cowboy game, unbelievable. So he brought that up. He also brought this up too. And I wrote this down too. Now you got to keep in mind, right? The season still got 5 games left in it. Okay. But he was trying to like encapsulate, kind of where did things go wrong, right? Well, he brought this up. He said they've had 9 different starting offensive line combos. He says that for the Giants, that's the second most in the past 15 seasons. And we still got 5 games left to go. So the Giants could obviously, break this streak. Right? Then he said they had 21 different combinations, offensive line combinations in total, 21. He said that's the 4th most for the Giants in the past 15 years. And I said we still got 5 games left to go in the season. So, I mean, the Giants, there ain't no team out there that's going to have all those different starting offensive lines. You take any like a left tackle out like half the season or something like that. Watch all the teams perform. Most of the teams' performances just go down to it was the first 8-9 weeks of every week was a different starting offensive line. How are you supposed to get any kind of cohesion going on? Not to mention the fact that, we're on a 3rd string quarterback. We lost our starting quarterback 2 times, right? Daniel Jones got injured, then he came back, then he got injured again. Come on, I'd like to see the Eagles with all the injuries the Giants have had, and the Eagles being on a 3rd string quarterback. Let's see the Eagles go 10-1. Not happening. Let's see. Shane just said a bunch of other things. He said on how to fix the injuries for next year. He said, I wish it was one specific injury. I always bring this up. It's like, if you look at all the data and everything like that, you look at other teams, right? Other teams. And you look at it there, it's like, hey, so-and-so, I'm going to throw it out there. The Atlanta Falcons, I'm just throwing a team out there, right? The Atlanta Falcons, they the past 10 years, just say, the Atlanta Falcons have been the least injured team over the past 10 seasons. We've been the most injured team in the past 10 seasons. Maybe the Falcons got a little something going on there. Maybe I don't know. Can you pick the phone up and call up their owner? I can't remember what the guy's name is. He's an older. Can you pick him up and say, "Hey, how you doing, Mr. John Marrier? How you doing? Can we come and we got some injury problems. Can we come and we don't want to see any of your plays. We don't want to see any of this. We don't want to see." We don't want nothing. Can we go in there and maybe see your training room or see how you guys work out or anything at all? Can they do something like that? Because Tony Robbins, real smart guy. I watch a lot of his videos on YouTube and stuff. He says success leaves clues. Okay, leaves clues. Now, if somebody is having some success. Okay, it's just not. There's not the injury fairy flies above the stadiums and say this year the Carolina Panthers are going to be bad, and this year they're going to be bad with injuries, and success leaves clues. Now, if there's a team out there like the past 10 or 15 years that maybe has the fewest injuries, there might be a reason why. Right? As I said, Tony Robbins said success leaves clues. There's somebody out there that makes money, who all they do is make money. There's clues there. There's success and there's clue. Can you pick up and say, hey, how's it going? Can we just check out your training facilities and see how you guys, maybe how do you guys work out? What I mean? How do you, when you practice? Do you stretch and then you go into the practice? Do you whatever? Do you do some sprints and then you stretch and then you go into practice, or you practice and then you stretch, but you don't do? Can we write any of that? I wonder if that's something they can do. I mean, because it's just absolutely amazing. Every year. I mean, it may not be so much the same injuries but it's like every year. I mean, last year I was with maingameslost.com. I had a subscription with them last year. I think it was like $65 or $70, something like that. It was very well worth it. Very, very well worth it. I don't have that subscription with them this year. I continued my PFF subscription, but last season I had the main games lost. The Giants were the sixth most injured team. They lost the most main games due to injuries last season. I don't know what they're at this season, but I mean, I'm sure they have to be up there once again. And if you go back and you look at all, you can go back in time and look at all the main games lost by the Giants. I mean, it's unbelievable. Every year. So, I mean, the Giants actually think that next season is going to be different. I mean, maybe it would be. But if we just go by what the evidence that we have at hand, every year, injuries. It's like it's like the meaning of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different result. The thing that just also boggles my mind too is that, because if you go back to basically 2014, okay, now I know Tom Coughlin's been, with the Giants longer than that. I get it. But if you go back to 2014, every coach we've had 5 coaches back to 2014. We've had 5 different coaches. Everyone's been here for 2 seasons. Once again, with Tom Coughlin, I know he started in 2004. But if you go back to 2014 and 15, right, was Coughlin. 16 and 17 was McAdoo. And actually, he didn't even finish 17. Spagnuolo was in there. But 16 and 17 was McAdoo. 18, 19 was Shermer. 20, 21 was Judge. 22, 23 was Dable. So we've had like 5 different coaches with different coaching and all that and everything. And just we injuries. It's like none of them can get it right. I mean, it's just simply amazing. And the thing is, it's like, you look at it and you kind of, we got to see what we're going to do. Shane's like, we got to see what we can do. But, what is the price of a lost season? Nothing's going to, screw up a season faster than injuries. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I mean, you can look at the offensive line that Patrick Mahomes had when they lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the Super Bowl. He had, I think his 2 starting tackles were out. He might have had somebody else. He was running for his life. Couldn't stand in the pocket. I think he had Tyreek Hill there, right? Kelsey and Hill and all that. They scored 9 points. They couldn't even score a touchdown, right? But with their banged up offensive line. What is the price? Can you put a price on it? A lost season. You pay all these players and all the team, the people who work for the team and the organization and all this. You fly the guys all over here to all of that stuff, and it's basically for naught because of injuries. What is the price of a lost season? Can you put a price tag on that? Can you put a price tag on that? All right, let's see. Oh, Shane also, I'll wrap it up with this. He was talking about Evan Neal. Right? As of right now, he was saying, no, we're going to keep him out there. But he did say he's got to play better. He does have to play better. Going to be interesting to see in the draft coming up. What did the Giants do? The Giants draft another tackle, or did they draft a guard? They're not going to be drafting a center. Unless they draft somebody like maybe later on or whatever who can play guard and center or something like that. But we got a center. But it'd be interesting to see because they're going to be drafting an offensive lineman. Which way do they go? Which way did they go? No. Which way do they go? They take guard or But he says as of right now, it's kind of weird because even Patty Trainer brought this up. He said something like, well, what do you think, he can – somebody asked him that. Why do you think he can stay a tackle? Why do you ever think about moving him in the guard? And Shane was like, I put on the Alabama tape. Man, he's good. He's good. Yeah. But that's college. This is the pros. And his thing, he has to show that he can stay healthy. He has to show that he can stay healthy. Whether he has the potential, whatever, he has to show because he had some problems last year. Now, whether they're his fault or not, it is what it is. But he's been nothing but banged up this season. He missed a bunch of games last season as well. He has to start showing he can stay healthy as well too. Because how many seasons are you going to go? Well, he was injured this season, so we'll give him next season, and we'll see if, right? But you also look at it, too, is that this is his second season. We played 17 games last season, right? We got played by 12. So we played 29 games, right, in his 2 seasons. He's played maybe, 20 games, 21 games or so out of those 29. And out of those 20 or 21, right? Last season when he came back, I think it was his knee. He still did not look 100%. He still, he was still favoring. He's still having an issue. So, if you look at his body of work, how many games he's actually played, but then you also look at actually how many healthy games has he actually played. Hasn't been that many. So a lot of times they say that you want to give, a draft class or a guy at least maybe to his 3rd season. And once his 3rd season, that's what you're going to kind of get. The thing is, though, with him being pick number 7, you really don't want to pick number 7. Yeah, we'll give him 7 or 8 years. We'll see what he kind of, Now, when you're pick number 7, you're kind of like a plug and play player. You don't want to necessarily be waiting 3 or 4 years to see what you got with a pick number 7 overall. But all indications that, Evan Neal will be back at right tackle next season. Now, hopefully in the offseason, maybe he'll start like he went to camp last year. I can't remember the guy's name, but he was a tackle for the Cincinnati Bengals and for somebody else too. I can't remember the guy's name, but he went, worked on his stance. So he's going to go out of his way. He's going to work on his craft. He's going to try to get better, right? Hopefully next season he can come back, maybe be a little bit better, maybe stay healthy, right? And maybe get a little bit better. But as of right now, Daniel Jones, when healthy, is going to be a starting quarterback for the Giants, and Evan Neal is going to be the right tackle for the Giants. So. But so Shane spoke, and I guess seems like everybody is off for like a whole week or whatever it is. So, all right, guys. Well, damn, almost 1 hour and 9 minutes. I just shoot my mouth off. So, hey, anybody spent any time listening to me? Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Or if anybody spends any time watching the replays, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. Thank you. As always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.